everyone, my name is Hannah and I am a nutrition educator with Cornell Cooperative Extension of Jefferson County. And we're here today for another video in our Healthy Family Snacking series. And here to address the family part of that snacking series, I have my friend Hiba.
Hi, my name is Hiba. I work for a family advocacy program, part of ASAP Army Substance Abuse Program, located at 10250 4th Armored Division, Fort Drum.
Awesome. And today we are going to be talking about how to make some healthy carrot cake cookies, which are a good snack when your kid is just really craving something sweet, because they're going to have some carrots in them, of course. They have some oats in them, which is going to provide fiber and help this be a filling snack. And it's pretty low in your saturated fats and your sugars. So this will help kids feeling energized and kind of hit that sweet spot craving. So the first thing I'm going to do is add together all of our wet ingredients. So I'm making a half batch today, but you could double this if you wanted to, and make even more to save up. So I've got 1/4 cup of vegetable oil, 1/4 cup of applesauce, and the combination of these two helps replace our butter. So our applesauce is going to be all natural sugars and provide some good moisture to our cookies so they're not super dry. And then our vegetable oil has our good unsaturated fats. So that will help with some heart health and protection benefits. Also for our wet ingredients, I have an egg that I'm going to add in, which will give us some protein as well, and some vanilla for flavoring. So I'm going to go ahead and mix these together.
Right. So while you do that, I will talk about parents and kids stressors, and most likely what we can do as parents to reduce stress in our kids' lives. Most parents and care providers would usually think that by having kids, there is nothing really kids have to stress about. They don't have jobs, they don't have bills to pay, they don't have rent to pay, so their life is pretty easy. That's what most parents think. But unfortunately, all research studies show that kids do have stressors, and it doesn't matter how young they could be, they still have stressors. For example, preschoolers could have anxiety from parent separation when their first day of school or their first week of school or so. So our job as parents is to find out those stressors and maybe working with our kids to problem solving and make it easier for them and ease those stressors. And it's good to understand what is stress. So stress is a function of the demands placed on us and our ability to meet them. These demands often come from outside sources. So it could be family, jobs, friends, schools, but also it could come from within the family or from within lives. Often related to what we think we should be doing versus what we're actually able to do. Stress can affect anyone who feels overwhelmed. So many kids are too busy to have time to play creatively or relax after school because they have so much homework to do, or they have chores, or they have sports to do. So our job as parents is to talk to them. Are they doing too much sports? Do they need a little bit of help with homework? Or certain things just to make them feel better?
Awesome. Great stuff, Hiba. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Great. So I'm going to move on to combining our dry ingredients, and then Hiba will give us some more tips on dealing with stressors.
Yeah.
Going into this dry bowl, going to have two types of flour. So whole wheat flour, which again is going to have more of the fiber and the beneficial vitamins in it to help us keep us feeling full and providing us energy. And then also some white flour. Again, we'll have our oats that I mentioned, some baking powder and baking soda to help it rise, and our 2 types of sugar. So we've got our brown sugar and our white sugar. And then we're going to add in some flavorings. So we've got our nutmeg, our ginger, and our cinnamon that will go and help these taste a little bit like a carrot cake.
So one way of parenting when we see our kids stressed is to pay attention to signs of or symptoms of stress. Every kid is different, and they could respond to stress in a different way. But in general, if you notice unusual bedwetting or unusual new habit, or your kid begins to lie or bully other kids or defy authority, a child who's stressed could also overreact to minor problems, have nightmares, or have drastic changes in their school performance. All those signs could give you a hint that your kid might be going through some stress. So your job as a parent is to help those kids to cope with stress. Proper rest, good nutrition can boost coping skills, as can also good parenting advice. Make time for your kids each day, whether they need to talk or just be there in the room with them without saying anything. Make yourself available to them, and do not try to make them talk. Do not force them to talk. Even if you know what they are worried about, sometimes kids just feel better when you spend time with them doing fun activities without talking about any negative stuff. Even when kids get older, quality time is important with family. It's really hard for some people to come home after work, get down on the floor and play with their kids, or just talk to them about their day, especially if they have had a stressful day themselves. But expressing interest shows that your kids, that they are important to you, and you are making effort to communicate with them even after having a really hard day at work or a stressful day at work. You can help your child cope with stress by talking about what might be causing it. Together as a family, you can come up with a few solutions like cutting back on after school activities, or spending more time talking with parents or teachers. Working on exercise regime together, or even keeping a journal.
Those are all awesome suggestions, Hiba. I love that you talk about how perceptive kids are, and sometimes we think we might be hiding our emotions from them, but it's really important to teach them how to address these emotions. So now I've got my wet ingredients and my dry ingredients. So I'm just going to go ahead and mix them together.
Good. And lastly, I was just gonna say, helping your child cope sometimes should not be on your own only as a parent. You can always use a mental health specialist, a therapist, behavioral health, or even like having a mentor or somebody who's professional to talk to your kids about what they have going on, if you need some support. Because most parents have skills to deal with their child's stress. The time to seek professional attention is when any changes in behavior persist, when stress is causing serious anxiety, or when behavior causes significant problems in school or home. And even maybe as adults, we have different stressors, but regardless what the stressor is, kids still do have stressors. We mentioned a few examples. Sometimes they are stressing about not being able to have a new pair of sneakers, or a new backpack, or stuff they might need and see it really essential for them. Even if it's a toy, they could be stressing about not having enough toys. I don't know. But stress is like that overwhelming feeling, and as parents, we need to pay attention to the signs and help kids with coping with stress. That looks really delicious.
Can you see how carrot packed these are?
I do see that.
Yeah, so you're getting a lot of really great, the nutrients from the vegetable, the carrots that's in there, and a lot of really delicious flavors, And if you are trying to sell these to your kids, you might just call them carrot cake cookies and leave off the healthy, because we all know that sometimes kids don't like what's best for them.
You're right.
So I'm just going to go ahead and continue measuring these all out, and then you bake it for 12 to 15 minutes at a 350-degree oven. You'll know they're done when they're kind of golden brown on top and they look a little bit puffier, and I'll be sure to include a picture so you all can see. But I think that about wraps us up for this week. Thank you all for joining us, and thank you, Hiba, for teaching us some tips to deal with our own and our child's stressors.
Thank you.
We'll see you all later.
Bye.